Okay, our next problem we're going to go over is Practice and Skills Workbook, page 87, problem number 4. A store sells a coat in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. The coat comes in red, navy, and tan. Sales numbers are shown in the table. What is the experimental probability that the next coat sold is not a large navy? Okay, so probably the main thing you want to look at this one is this word right here. It says not. So we don't want it to be a large navy. Okay, so we don't want it to have the probability with the large navy, which would be starting with the 20 on the top of our probability. So let's go ahead and let's start off with our probability. And we're going to make an assumption. Let's suppose that our experimental probability was going to be a large navy. Okay, well, to go ahead and do that, we would use the 20, and we would go ahead and we would count up the rest of the numbers. So you take the 18 plus the 24 plus the 19 plus the 21, the 22, 25, the 19, the 20, and the 22. And if you went ahead and you added those all up, you would end up with 190. Okay, so I would put that down as our total. So if we did it this way, we would end up with 20 over 190, and then we would simplify that down to get an answer. Okay, we have a problem with this. This right here would be the answer if we were trying to find the probability of being a large navy. We don't want that. We want everything else. So essentially, what I want to look at is all the other numbers that are not large navy. So one way that we could do that would be to go ahead and add up all those numbers that I have in red. We could go ahead and do that, and that would work. But I want to be a little bit smart about that. If we went ahead and we took a look at what we've already done before with the large navy, the probability of it being a large navy, if 20 out of the 190 are a large navy, then that means that if we take the total, which is 190, and we subtract the 20, that tells us that we have 170 that would not be large navy. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the 170, put that over the 190, and then simplify that down to 17 over 19. And this answer right here, I'll put a little star because we had that other one circled here. And that's going to be the experimental probability of it not a large navy. Okay, so we'll put that down there. And that's what they're asking for in this problem. They're asking us what it is for it not being a large navy. Your other option is, if you want it a little bit more straightforward, you could just go ahead and add up everything we have in the red. Take the 18 plus the 24 plus the 19 plus the 21, the 22, the 25, the 19, and the 22. If you added all those up, you would end up with 170. And those would represent all the ones that would not be true.